Did you know that there isn't anyone you couldn't learn to love once you've heard their story? The power of storytelling is way more than just entertainment. It's about making people care and moving them emotionally. A great story has the ability to make you feel, has the ability to connect with your audience, and has the ability to make your story stick in your audience's mind and to be remembered. That's why great storytelling matters. In this video, I will show you how a great storytelling can help you to connect, inspire, influence, whether you're speaking in front of an audience or on your daily life, if you're speaking to friends or whatever situation. If you master storytelling, you will master the way you influence people. You will master also the way you connect with people. So stay tuned and let's dive in. Storytelling is so much more powerful when it's something personal. Just share your story. You know, we all have story. I told you in previous video about my story about Alzheimer. My grandmother who had Alzheimer, and a few years later another family members was diagnosed with the same disease. It was like the universe was playing a cruel joke on me, on us, on my family. And I was not her, like not again, not my mother. You know, it's very personal. You know, when I share something personal like that, I have to be vulnerable and you can connect with me. And I think great storytelling has to start from you, from your life, from your story, and that's a really good start to start with. I could share you many stories, and I think also a great tips I could share with you, it's try to write down your daily life every day in the morning. Maybe try to remind yourself how was the previous day, and you do a daily journal about your stories, about what happened the day before, or you can do that at night. I prefer to do that in the morning and remind myself how was my previous day and write a story about every day. Try to keep a journal, and just after 1 month or 2 months, if you keep doing that every day, you're gonna have about 60 stories, and you're gonna also sharpen the way you do your story. You're gonna sharpen your beginning, your middle, and your end, and you're gonna sharpen your obstacle, your stakes, and it's just gonna help you to deliver better storytelling. But mostly what I wanted to say to start with is start with a personal story. It's about you, it's about your life. And also when you share a personal story, the audience get drawn to you, they get drawn to your vulnerability, and they feel more connected to you. I think I saw too many speakers, they were great speakers, great voice, but it was all about them. It was me, me, me. But what the audience was getting from him or from her, I mean, never be too much talking just about you, like the audience, what they can get from you, how they can relate to you. I think really it is a very important point about great storytelling, because sharing your personal experience, something that the audience can relate to, they get drawn into your world, they get drawn into your vulnerability. This is so important. Now let me share with you a very simple acronym. As you probably know, I love acronyms because I love also everything about memory because of my experience in my family with this disease, Alzheimer, and I've read all the books possible to learn about first memory, Alzheimer, all the workshop I could attend to try to help my mother to maintain her memory, to maintain the way she could remember me. I didn't want it to be a stranger again. Not again after my grandmother. So I did everything I could, and in the process, as you probably know if you watch one of my previous videos, I become without realizing a memory expert, and I realized everything I learned I could apply it to me as a multi-passionate and learning about so many subjects and many languages and instruments. I realized I could apply all these memory techniques to learn more languages, more instruments, learn more subjects. But mostly I wanted to share that to say that I love acronym because it's a great way to remember different techniques and different principles. So for this acronym, for the storytelling, I choose the simple acronym, very simple, very short, story. And I will show you how you can set the stage to start with a very strong hook, then build the tension, introduce obstacles, how to create relatability, because it is key for the audience to connect with your story. And also the why for the transformation, your transformation. This is the ingredients that will take your storytelling to the next level. So let's start with the letter S for set the stage. Every story starts with a context, but don't just tell the audience where you are. Make them feel it. Show, okay? Don't just tell. Alive and provide showing, not telling when speaking. Bring the characters alive and provide details about the way they look, their height, if they have ginger hair, if they have glasses, is it big glasses, small one, the one like Harry Potter. Try to be very specific and try to draw the picture in your audience mind, okay? Always give sensory details to your audience. What does it smell, the touch, the different, what they hear, what they see. Give as many sensory details to your audience. This is so important. All the different sensory details gonna add so much power to your story and make it stick in your audience mind, okay? So let me give you an example. If I told you my grandmother looked at me and she was confused and asked me, "Who are you?" Okay, but it's gonna be a bit flat, right? If I give you more details, maybe about the way she looked, and I told you my grandmother, like the sweetest person I ever knew. She had this beautiful ginger hair with her beautiful big green eyes, and she looked at me, paused, and I couldn't understand, but something was off in her eyes. And after a few seconds, she asked me, "Who are you?" I'm sure you can picture it better if I just give you these few details about the color of her hair, the color of her eyes. Something was off in her eyes. She has no glasses, but if she had, I could have added about the glasses she had, the shape maybe. Just trying to draw again the picture in your mind. But after, it's not just about drawing the picture in your mind audience. It's about also touching the hearts, okay? If you want to go even deeper in what you want to make your audience remember. The T is one of the most important ingredients, is for tension. You know, you can also say for the conflict in your story, because a story without conflict or tension, it doesn't really grab your audience. It doesn't put them on the edge of their seat. You have to grab your audience attention. So higher the stakes, higher the conflict, the tension, better it is to grab the attention, to hook them. The tension is what keeps your audience at the edge of their seat. They're wondering what is happening next. Imagine you're watching one of my favorite movies, The Godfather. It's not just about mobsters, mafia, it's about loyalty, power, betrayal. Every decision in the movie is loaded with tension, and that's what makes it so gripping. Always for one of my favorite ingredients that any story need is for the obstacle. It's like the hero's journey. Without an obstacle, there is no journey. So you always need a strong obstacle, and higher are the stakes, better it is. I mean, think about a life and death obstacle. Whatever, it can be, let me come up with a story about someone. He needs the money for his mother because she's at the hospital and they can't pay for her to have whatever surgery to save her. It's life or death. It's a huge obstacle. It has no money and he needs to find 1 million in 1 week. I can tell you the stakes are pretty high, and we probably can do a good story about this kind of stakes, high stake obstacle, to find how we will find the money, 1 million in a week. I don't know, maybe we should write it. But it's mostly the difference about someone trying to get the food for his dog at the supermarket, even if it's very important for the dog, of course, or the cat to eat something. The stakes, let's say, are way lower. So always try to have high stake. Life or death, the basic if you want something very strong. So high stakes is always important. For example, for the story about my grandmother who had Alzheimer, and after another family member, my mother, was diagnosed with Alzheimer. I did everything I could in my power to learn about memory, to learn about Alzheimer, to learn about how I could maintain a memory. Because I didn't want it to become a stranger again to the woman who has been my entire world. So the stakes are pretty high for me to find a solution to help her to maintain a memory. So, it's to give you an example of different stories. The R is for relatability. This is key. If your audience doesn't connect to your story, it won't land. And all these different emotions from fear, hope, love, anger, your audience will connect emotionally with you if you share it with truth and you share it coming from your heart. Hope, fear, love, these emotions are universal. When you share your story, even if someone hasn't been to the same exact story about having problem with their family member, having an operation, or whatever story, they can relate to you. That's what I say, this is universal. That's why more you describe, more you are precise about your story, easier it's gonna be for the audience to picture what you're talking about, and easier it's gonna be to connect with the audience. Vulnerability is crucial. That's what makes us human. And the why is for your transformation. Every great story show how someone changed. Think about, again, the hero's journey. Transformation is the payoff of the journey. It's what the audience is waiting for. It's what the character is going through to finalize with the transformation, your transformation. The transformation, that's the true power of storytelling. It shows us how people grow. And good storytelling is not just about facts, it's about emotion. You have to speak to the heart, not just the brain. I want you to draw in your audience mind, but the drawing has to be so specific that it's gonna go down and touch their hearts. People will forget what you said, but they will never forget how you made them feel. Another very important element is the power of dialogue. This is huge. If you just narrate your story without dialogue, it's a shame, because having dialogues, you can add different tonality. If you say my grandmother, so she looked at me in the eyes, she stopped, looked at me with her beautiful green eyes, and something was off in her eyes, and she said, "Who are you?" Or in French, "Qui êtes-vous?" And just trying to change the tonality is gonna keep your audience engaged. So having dialogues, it can change the volume, it can change the tonality. It's gonna be something very important, because as we discussed previously in previous video, you can watch one of them, you're gonna see it just up there or there. It's communication. 65% is body language, 38% is your tonality. So having dialogues, you're gonna make it more engaging for your audience. So try to have fun with that. If you can do that when you're sharing maybe a story about your animals, if you have cats, dogs, chicken, rabbits, whatever, and you can make them speak, it's gonna make a huge difference. And you can have fun with your voice, going in the high range, low, very low range. Just try to have fun with that. It is so powerful to add dialogue in a story. So what's your story? What is the message you want to share to the world? And storytelling is about the connection, the emotion, and the transformation. I want to make storytelling easy. I want to make it easy when I explain it. I think there's many ways you can think about the structure of storytelling, but let's make it simpler. I love the 3-act structure. First, beginning, middle, end. And of course, in each section, you add all your different bits, but mostly remember about the story acronym. It's gonna help you a lot. If you write a story, if you do your daily journal to write about your daily stories, and you just think about beginning, middle, end, and you remind yourself about the story acronym, already is gonna help you a lot to write better stories, to be better in the way you deliver your stories on stage, for your work, on your daily conversation. Just, this is the idea, to make it simple. Because why make it complicated when we can just first have a very good base to just be better in the way you deliver your stories. And this is such an important skill. The video, so I really hope this video gonna help you to deliver better stories. And if you liked the video, please hit the like button, it's probably there or there. If you like, and if you want to have more videos about how you can improve your communication, how you can improve your memory, how you can improve your public speaking skills, how you can improve your body language, and all these different types of skill, because our bodies are instruments. That's what we learn when we are actors, when we do an acting training, as I did, and that's what I want to share with you. And if you feel that I can help you, so please join me on this journey, join me on this quest. in your quest. And see you soon for the next video. Voilà, et à bientôt.